was Have You No Shame? And I want to get right into it today because this is an interesting topic to me. And it came up for a couple of reasons. One is I just wanted to talk about it. Two is, Ken's been doing this whole series, this whole mental series of like, what kind of player are you? What persona do you fit? I guess he's working through this thing. And I'm certainly no psychologist, and you'll find that out. I'm not a psychologist or a preacher by any means. But I got some things that I like to think about. And this is one of them. And I don't want to jump on Ken's toes and talk about mental stuff that he's getting into. But this came up for me the other night. And I was watching Jeremy's rollout of one of Vince's strategies. And it's funny, like, we're all buds, right? I mean, I love Jeremy and Mike and Ken. And we're all good friends. Vince, you too. And Vince does great stuff. Vince is a great thinker. And you start thinking about, well, shit, do I measure up? Am I good enough? And then I start, like, was my strategy good enough? Would my strategy have won with Jeremy's role? How would I have felt at the table if somebody was doing that? And I didn't know what they were, and I didn't understand what they were doing. The strategy that Vince and Sideshow and you guys are working out with that coin pusher thing, right? That I was watching that going, oh my God, that's really incredible. Like, it's in terms of like, it's well thought through, but like, what? And I thought to myself, God, am I just getting old and I can't understand this stuff? Or what? And then I got thinking about the word shame, and I'm like, yeah. Do you play with shame? And really, do you carry shame in your life? And that's kind of what I was thinking about over the last couple of days. And I actually got an email from a subscriber. I won't name who he is, but talking about something along these same lines. And shame comes from a lot of places, right? And when you're thinking about at the table, let's just look at shame in terms of just craps, not your life. Where do you play on the table? Like, are you a dark side player? I've heard so many times. And I think I saw Big AZ here. So Big AZ, if you're here still, chime in on this one. And I know that for a while there in Arizona, all you can play is bubble craps, right? Or the roll to win. So nobody really knows what you're doing. A lot of dark side players are going to bubble craps and they're going to roll to win because you can kind of hide behind the screen, right? You can bet against the shooter, in air quotes, without them knowing it on a bubble craps or on the roll to win. And I've heard a lot of people say, I don't want to play the dark side because I don't want to get the looks. I don't want to be the guy that brings the table down. I don't want to ruin the vibe. I don't like having to explain myself, right? There's a shame factor to that. It's you have a plan. I can roll all day long on my table. And so can Greg, and so can Big AZ, and so can all of y'all. Roll all day long on our shows. The don't. We're pounding those don'ts all day long, right? I'm arguing, is it better to have one don't with odds or two don'ts? How do I get more don't action? Last night I rolled out that strategy with $1,500 in a lay, right? To get that don't get through. Would I go to the casino and do that? I would. I had a bunch of people say, that's a great strategy. I'm going to try that out someday, but I'm afraid to play it at a casino because I don't want to be seen as that guy or that woman. I don't want to be seen like that. There's a shame in the dark side for some reason. There's a shame that I've heard people talk about in playing only the 6 and 8 because they feel like they're a newbie. They feel like they're a rookie and they don't want to be seen as a toddler at the table because they're playing the two obvious numbers. Well, guess what? The 6, 7, and 8 are the ones that win most of the time. They're the ones that come most of the time. Why are we ashamed of playing the things that we think are going to win? It's our money. We're trying to win more money. Isn't that interesting? So think about that. Where you play, you might feel shame. And I'm going to tell you right now, you have permission not to feel shame for sure. Here's Big AZ. He says, yeah, disguising the bets makes the tension much less. Used to play in the morning when the table was empty. And don't want to squeeze into a table to play the don't. That's an interesting thing. And I hear you there. I don't want to muscle in either. I don't like muscling anyway. I don't like people touching me. Actually, I do. I'm kind of a hugger. But I don't want to be muscling in and playing the don't and be like, screw you to the whole table, right? We don't want to do that. But there's shame in that. And it's interesting how we kind of deal, kind of do one of these and you're kind of hiding your head and you're getting in there and like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do my don't and leave me alone. That's interesting mentality. It's your money that you're trying to win. There's shame in how much you play, right? I'll be the first one to come out here and say this, right? We talk about this all the time. Talk about me going to the casino often because I go to the casino enough. I have one super close. It's a $5 table. I'll roll up there with $200. all the time, looking to win $50, right? And there are guys at the table that have got, that much money on a number that they've pressed up to. And I'm happy to play my $5, $10, $6 here, $8 there, whatever. And I'm usually trying strategies out, or I'm just out there with whatever I have left over from the month, just trying to build up a little bit of stroke. And I used to really feel bad about that. Like, God, here I am. I'm 53 years old. I got money in the bank, but I'm going to buy them for $200. I'm going to try and win 50. And there's a shame in the bet level. There's a shame in the buy-in level. And I know people who won't go unless they can buy in for 500 because they don't want to be seen as the guy who's buying in for 100. They want to be seen as either a degenerate or as somebody who's poor. And again, we roll to the bubble craps. We go to roll to when we can put in whatever you want. Nobody has to know. Right? We do a lot of things in our lives at the craps table and in life that nobody has to know that we're doing, and it's a shame thing, right? And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. How much you win can be a shame thing. I was at a table, and you know the story, not long ago, and actually a subscriber wrote to me and said, hey, I was at a table where everybody just made bank. Like they were making thousands of dollars, and I didn't make hardly anything. I was at a table where, a guy won almost $10,000, and I won $1,350. And you know what? $1,350 was a life-changing amount of money for me at that time. Could I have made more? Sure. Did everybody else make more? Sure. Did I feel shame because I made $1,000 basically when I could have made 10? You're damn right I did. Right? I was younger then. And I felt lots of shame about that. Like, man, I really blew it. Like I shoulda, coulda, woulda done something different, and I felt shame about that. And I feel like now, as I get older, there's no shame in winning 10% or 20%. There's no shame in taking the casino's money home with me, no matter what level that is. And it's a maturity thing, I think, and it's an experience thing, I think. And I think for new players that are watching this going, how do I win all the casino money at craps? So you don't. You lose most of the time. You lose most of the time. But when you do win with pride, right? Win with pride. I think that's really an important thing for us to embrace and know. And I'm seeing some comments here from Vince saying, no shame in playing the don't. And I think the shame that comes from playing the don't is the shame that players feel from other players. They feel like they feel the heat of judgment. They feel the vision from other people like kind of raining down on them. And you can feel like your neck getting hot when you're that guy at the table, especially when the table's kind of hot. And it's definitely interesting. Mike, I have gotten some grief on it. But I usually play a hybrid. Not a hybrid, but I'll play the horseman like you're saying here. And the horseman's a transitional strategy. And I can explain it to them. Now I'm old enough that I can do that. Now that I'm a teacher for my job, and I guess the morning show is kind of a teaching thing, I'm more open to talking about it. I used to just be hide. I used to literally go to the hook. I would stalk a craps table for hours. And you know how they say, chart the table? I would chart the table and it would be hot. For me, it'd be all sevens. I'm like, I'm coming in for the dark side here. I'm going to do my don't pass thing. And there was a spot next to the stick and I wouldn't take it. Or a spot, around the outside hook and I wouldn't take the spot. I would wait for the old fart in the corner, in the way back corner by the dealer to leave and wait for that spot because I wanted nobody to see me, right? Playing the don't. That's what I would do. And I would burn through a table that was favorable to me so I could hide my play. So that's interesting. There can be shame, of course, in the way that you play. We're talking about that now. Like, do you not press? Are you one up and one unit and down kind of guy? 1 unit and regression up and pull. Ken talks about regression up and pull all the time. Go out for 18, regress to 12, and then go 18, 24, 30, 36, 42 every time. Nothing wrong with that, right? When the guy next to you is doing full press, and he's at 300 on the 6 and you're at 42, is there shame in that when you're side by side with somebody doing that, right? Are you the guy that's always pressing? And are you feeling shame when everybody else won money and you got your ass kicked on that same roll, right? Or do you feel shame if you're a come better with all the place bettors giving you a bunch of grief? Or the other way around, if you're a place better with a come better next to you who's judging you because you can't add and can't do basic math. And they're on you about that. I had a guy at the table one time. I was playing the horseman, and I was playing the come ladder, and I wasn't taking odds. And the guy's like, did you ever learn how to play this game? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're not taking odds. I'm like, I don't want to take odds. My strategy is not to take odds. I'm doing this thing and, whatever. And he was on me the whole time. Well, the guy next to us, between us, who was doing come bets with odds, lost his money twice because the table was not favorable to him. I was doing the come ladder and making a unit every 4 rolls. This guy was losing half his bankroll every 4 rolls because he was maxing odds. And, I gave him a look and whatever. And it was probably a shitty thing to do to the guy, but I gave him a bunch of grief about it because, again, at that point in my life, I was over it. I was over being guilted into doing, quote unquote, the right thing. I was on my path. And when I'm on my path, I don't feel any shame about what I'm doing. And that's, I think, what I'm getting to is I don't feel any shame when I'm on my path. So there's that. That's kind of a little story around all that. And I think what the message I want you to get is this: play it your way. Do your deal the way you're going to do your deal, and don't be shameful about the way you're doing it. So, Dr. S. Ethical Bourbons, there is no shame, but there may also be some bad decisions being made at the tables. So you got to be careful about that too. All right, let's look at a couple of things, and I want to break down a couple of roles. I'm going to break them down lightly for you, and we're going to do a deeper dive tomorrow on the one of them. So here is a role that I did last week, right? And I forget the day that it was. I went back and watched it, and I didn't log every roll because the actual dice don't matter in this one. You remember the day. I went out here and I lost my butt on the first one. I lost my entire, I went $500 right to zero the first session. It was playing the don't. I hit every point. I was 7 on the come outs. I was awful that day. I lost everything, right? Then I came back and we won 4 in a row. We won 40%, 35%, whatever we won, right? At the end of the day, I was up about 30%. That was to simulate 5 trips to a casino. That was to simulate me going 5 times or being in Vegas and having a morning airplane. And how would it work, right? And I tell you all the time, win 20%, 80% of the time, you're going to be just fine. Here I won a little more than 20% 4 times out of 5. 80% of the time, I won more than 20%, and I ended up ahead of the thing. On 3 of those rolls, when I went back and watched the video, I stopped betting. I was like, okay, we're at our goal. We're going to stop. I'm going to reset the rack, and we're going to keep on going, right? What I didn't say in the video was, this is the time I'm going home, right? If I was at the casino here, I would either, bets would be off, I'd come back to the rack, I'd wait for the 7, cash out, and leave. In the moment here at my table, what I did was, we're going to stop, reset the rack, and try something different. Is there shame in leaving early when you're up like that? How many times have you seen the guy, and I've heard you all tell stories about it, right? Where the dude buys in for 500, wins 1,000, leaves with 0, or leaves with 200. Up 1,000, leaves at a stop loss of 20%. What a dumbass, right? Now I'm judging somebody else, right? There's no shame in leaving with money. No shame in leaving with money. There's no shame in this either. I don't mind fist pumping when I win on the don't. I don't go like this, but I'm like, I'll give it one of those because I won money. I'll take money all the time. And I tell people next to me, Lauren, I'll tell them all the time, anytime any of us takes their money, it's a good thing. Doesn't matter if it's me or you who takes the casino's money. As long as somebody takes that damn money, then I'm happy. And you're right, Skill. It is the dealers. And I've said this to you all before. I made it a light of it one day, but the dealers will tell you all the time. You'll hear them, right? Shooting from the don't. I'm sure Lauren's heard this. I'm sure Greg's heard this, right? You put your money in the don't pass and you grab the dice and you go, and they'll yell it out, shooting from the don't. And my next words are always dealer bets down. Because I'll put them up with me, even though I'm from the don't. I'll bet the dealers on the all tall small. I'll get them on the inside working on the come out. I do that kind of thing for the dealers when I'm playing. I'm pretty generous. If I hear shooting from the don't, their bets come down. I won't take that from dealers. I mean, I love my dealers. You know me, I'm a big tipper. I'm a huge fan of service industry. I know what it takes to do that job. I will not stand for that. So that's the thing right there. And again, that's just me being old, I guess, and whatever. So I wanted to make sure that was out there. All right, let's look at another roll. So this is a case where I lost once, came out and crushed it after that, right? That happens. Jeremy the other night did this. He put a video out and he was playing Skill and Lux, or not, I forget who's on this one. Vince, correct me if I'm wrong. It's you, it's Sideshow, is it Waylon that's doing the ROI strategy? I forget who made the ROI strategy up. I know it's a bunch of you working together. And he did this, right? And it's a Martingale type strategy. And he went out, and by the way, I'm gonna talk about this strategy in depth in a day, because you made a point, Vince, in this video that I made the other day that I think is phenomenal, and I wanna make sure we talk about it. But Jeremy came out and lost on the first shooter, right? Look at that roll, 9 and a 7, okay? The don't pass guys, the headless horseman guys, we just doubled up our money, right? We're all super happy about that. Then he came out and did this. He went 5, 3, 8, 7. And again, the horseman guy made a quarter, the don't pass guy doubled his money, and Jeremy's out 168. He bought him for 500. He lost 84 in the first one, 160 on the second one, and now he's out for his entire bankroll. His next one, he goes out for everything. And we tell you all the time, right? Have enough money in your rack to lose your ass 10 times. Well, he's lost it twice. And you're waiting for the good one if you're a right side better. Well, here comes the good one. Jeremy rolls this. He goes in for 262, which is his entire bankroll. His rack was empty, and he was about to give Vince a bunch of crap. Right? He was about to talk about Martingale suck and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes on a monster-ass roll like this, where he makes 4 points he makes. The 8 comes out like 5 times. The 10 comes out like 4 times. Crushes the roll, makes $688, which gives you 2 lessons. One is, if you look at my roll from the other day, you can say, yes, it's okay to lose because you are gonna, hopefully with a good strategy, come back and win 80% of the time. Jeremy's roll teaches us that it's okay to lose a couple of times because you have bankroll with you and a strategy designed to fight back, right? Would Jeremy have felt, well, if he's got a channel, right? He's doing it live. At a casino, would he have felt shame getting his ass kicked and putting all his bankroll out there and being all in on that last roll? What if this early 7 comes? What if it's 8, 8, 7 on this last roll and he's out of money? Do you walk away with shame in that case, or do you walk away with a plan for next time? Like, that's the thing you got to think about is how does your brain handle what could have happened here? And what did happen here is he won a bunch of money. Tomorrow, what I want to do with this roll here, we're going to go long on this section. I want to zoom into those numbers, and I want to break down the roll and look at how you or I or somebody else may have played those numbers. Because looking at that roll there, a come better versus a place and press better would have had 2 totally different experiences in this roll, and I really want to take a look at how that would have worked out for us. That's going to be tomorrow's thing. And what I want you to do is this. I'm going to put these numbers, the roll counts for all 3 rolls, in the description of this video. I didn't do it yet. I'll do it after the show. So come back to the video later on and look in the description. I'll put Jeremy's rolls in there for you. And I want you to play the rolls. Play the rolls out like you would have played them, and then drop me an email, john@procraps.net, or leave a comment in the video, either way. And let me know your strategy, what you would have done in that same circumstance. And don't look at the rolls and say, well, knowing that he made 10s, I would have played the 4 and 10. What's your go-to strategy? How would your strategy have worked had you been on the table with that set of rolls? And that's going to be, I think, interesting for us to look at, because I want to get into different ways to play and analyze. I like to analyze rolls in hindsight and say, well, my strategy would have done this. Where's the hole? What did I miss? What could I have seen? And I like to make those calculations. But at the end of the day, if you would have won $100 on this, if you would have won $1,000 on this, if you would have won $465, Vince's strategy won $688. Remember this message, okay? And this comes with everything, right? This comes with the way you approach a table, how you play, who you're hiding from, who you're showing yourself to, who you're talking about, how much money you're winning, how much money you're betting, how much money you bought in for. Comparison is the thief of joy, okay? That's an important message for us all to remember, that comparison is the thief of joy. And if we go out there with shame and look at, like, how do I compare to what else is out there? How do people see me? You can't go into life like that. And at the craps table, if you're in this mode, it's going to cost you money because you're not going to be on your game. You're not going to be focused. You're worried about stupid shit that doesn't have anything to do with how you're playing your game. And honestly, when the goal is this is your goal. Win more often than you lose. Doesn't matter how it happens. Win more often than you lose. Let the other 9 people at that table be damned. Win more often than you lose. That's all I want you to do. And that's it. And here's a funny comment from Big AZ. I know you were betting against me. That's pretty funny. I just want you to make sure that you keep your brains right? And I think because I've gotten a lot of emails about this recently from just random people saying, "Oh my God, this happened or that happened," or "What do I say to when this happens?" And Ken's doing a whole thing on the mental game, and I'm like, this is the perfect time to talk about it. So there it is. That's what I'm talking about today. So let's roll some dice. Let's go back to the table. And speaking of shame, I'm going to go turn the light on, and we're going to play the strategy that I got my butt kicked on yesterday. Right? I come out here every day, and I have tons of shame because I can't roll worth a shit. You know that I come out here and I get my butt handed to me most of the time because for whatever reason, the dice don't like to help me make a point when I'm making a point. I'm just going to roll and have fun. We're going to do a little light side play today. And again, don't judge me. I don't care, right? I'm going to have actually, it's funny. Last night I did a stream for 2 hours. And I ran a strategy that Greg said I would never, ever, ever play that. I'm like, I don't care. It's fun for me to do these kind of things. Do I have any shame about how I played last night? No, I love that strategy. Today I'm going to play the Tom Brady one. We're going to go full light side today. Again, yesterday we got murdered on this thing. I'm doing it again today because, again, I have no shame about what happened yesterday. I just rolled the dice poorly, and we'll see if we can't get a better outcome today. So we're going to come out with, what is this, $86 or no, it's $105 or something like that per shooter. I'm going to come out with a pass line bet. And again, I'm not going to play defense. We could do this from the defensive side. I'm not going to do it. Tom Brady strategy, the GOAT, 0.5 pass line, and we'll take $40 in odds on the pass line. And we'll come out here and we'll do our 10, 8, 6, and 4. I need to get some nickels and pennies here. We're going to do it at the $12 level, just like so. We're going to set it up with basically 64 or $54, right? We've got 12 on the 6 and 8, 10 on the 4 and 10, $5 on the hard ways. I got a $10 pass line with $40 in odds, right? We're going to come out here with basically 54, 64, 104. I got a little bit left over here in case the point was a 6. That's the strategy. We're going to roll this thing out full right side, no protection. And if I can roll some numbers, we're going to make some money. I got $1,000 here. We'll give it 2 or 3 shooters, and we'll see if we can't make this thing work. And again, it doesn't matter to me if it works or not here, right? I'm working on practicing how I'm making my moves. I'm not worried so much about looking good for the camera. Okay, shame. That's a $12 6. It's going to pay $14. I'm going to collect the first one in here. Again, in this strategy, the 6 and the 8, they're the earth movers, right? This is the ground chuck. We're going to basically collect on these things all day long. They're going to fund the rest of our play because they hit often enough. The 4 and 10 and the hard ways is what I want, right? Especially the hard ways. That's going to be our home run strategy or our touchdown if we can get it. There's a 7, of course, right? We're going to lose immediately out of the gate. It's got to be okay, right? We're not going to hit it every single time. I don't expect to. But again, like Jeremy's strategy, you're going to lose once, you're going to lose twice, you're going to lose 3 times. But if the 7th or 8th shooter is quote unquote the one, then we'll be okay. We're going to come out with $100. I'm going to break this down into basically all reds. Yeah, we'll do all reds because I have some whites in the box. There's my 100. Let's get set up. I'll preset the bets just to save some time. And there we go. We're ready to go. Everything is off, pending the point. Hard 10. Boy, we should have been on, right? We should have been on. I always debate this, right? I always debate being on all the time. I like to let the 7 breathe, especially when I've got a pass line bet out here, but it is what it is. We blew a chance here to earn some money. On the 4, we'll just take double odds back there, or the 10 rather. Let's get some numbers to hit, shall we? There's a 4, the easy 4, 314. So we'll lose our hard 4, but the easy 4 is going to pay $9. I'm sorry, my bad, that should be $10 out there. That should pay 18. That'll pay us 18 bucks. And what we'll do, replace our hard 4. I'm going to press both the 4 and 10 to 15. We're going to collect 3 bucks. We're going to try and work these things up a little bit here. The next hit inside on the 4s and 10s, I'm going to press these up a little bit. Really want them hard ways to hit. And hit for something good. There's a 12. There's a 4, 1, 5. And again, this strategy sucks when you get field numbers and the 5 and 9, right? We don't want those non-productive rolls where you're not collecting. But there's a 6, 4, 10. That's great. 6, 4, 10, easy 10. So we'll lose our hard 10, okay? And I'm not paying attention. I should have probably had this back there, but we left it up because I'm just lazy. So that's going to pay 27 bucks. Actually, I'll pay it in reds, 27. And again, I'm going to press, replace that with 1, get that pressed up, pull these 2 whites in. The pass line pays 10, and the 20 pays 40 on the back side of that. So this all comes back. There's the 10, and there's the 40 for the back side. There it is. All right, bring all this back, and we're in good shape. Didn't quite recover where we started last time. We lost, remember, we lost the 64, we lost 54 plus 40, so 94. We lost $104 on the last hand. Where are we at in the rack? We're at 50, 75, 105. That's what we lost last time. This is we're basically back from getting beat, but we still have our current spread out here. So we're not anywhere yet. We're just even at this point. That rolled. That was at 8. It was a 5, 3, 8. That rolled when I picked it up off the wall. Our point's going to be 8. This time I'll do the right thing and take this down like I should have the last time. And we're going to go with full odds. I'm going to go 50 in odds back behind the line. And there we go. We're set back up for everything else. Now we got our 4s and 10s bumped up a little bit. Now we start collecting on these things. I got them where I want them, 20 and 10. I'm going to start collecting now. Let's start getting some money here. Ooh, yeah, hard 4. That's where it's at right there. So 20 is going to pay 40 over here. And 10 here is going to pay 70. That's a good win. That's the idea, right? 70 there, 40 here. We're going to go ahead and get these to a quarter each and bring back 30. These over here, I'm going to make them look like 15 each and bring back 60. So to our rack we go. And we're doing really, really solidly. I'll put the whites over here. Everything is where I want it. The 4s and 10s are never going to go higher than this. I'm going to leave them at a quarter. I'm leaving those at 15. That's the exact level that I want to be at. All right, this is going to pay me 50. We're going to lose 15. Replace ourselves, and it's a $35 profit every time. The 6 I'd like to be bumped up once, but we're in great shape. Let's just get that 8 and get out of here, right? Talking too much. There's a 7. You know what I think sometimes is funny? I think that there's this kind of random number generator that's going all the time, like slot machines work, where it's kind of always spinning and giving numbers. And the more I talk, the more that thing spins. And when I roll the dice, that's where it lands on. I know that's not how this actually works, but it sure feels like there's an RNG going in my life. And as I stop talking, it's where it lands on. That's how random shooting to me works. All right, let's get set back up again. Good, we made money on that shooter, which is great. We actually came out a little bit ahead there, which is solid. Let's get ourselves back. We'll put 10 on the pass. I'm gonna, again, preset with 10. Do 12 there, 10 there, 5 and 5. There's our 2 caps, okay? And in my rack, this is 100, this is sorry, it's a quarter. I have 100 bucks. That's the 100 that I rebought in for the last time. So not only am I even, I'm actually up $4 after that last roll. That's pretty good. 549, this is great when this comes to numbers that I don't have set. It really gives me a 5th number. The only non-productive roll here is going to be a 5 for me if we can get some things to happen. Now let's just avoid the 7 for a few minutes and we'll be okay. There's the 5. Oh, I didn't put the odds up. 549, that should have been, I'm going to do it post because I'm talking too much and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. That should have been 40 in odds back there, the way that we played the strategy. So 40 in odds back here on the 9. That's going to pay 10 and 60. All right, odds come back, of course, and we're solid. Buck is going to be off. We're going to come out a second time. Oh, good, it's a 5. We're kind of bouncing around like I want to be on non-even numbers for my points if I can help it. And again, we'll come out to 40 bucks. Behind that. Good, that's an 8. It's a 6-2-8, easy 8. And we'll do 15 for 1 from our rack and rack that 15 bucks. There's a second 8, a 5-3-8 a second time. Now it's going to pay, we'll do again 15. We'll do 15 for 1. And we're going to drop $1 and have them press it by 1 unit. We'll take it to 18, we'll rack 10. So we're going to always be collecting. And again, the 6 and the 8 are going to be our drivers if we can get them to drive. There's a 5-2-7, so we get burned this time through. Not a big deal. It was nice to see it kind of get itself going the last roll. That's not always going to happen, obviously, but it was good to see it finally come off the ground the way it was designed. All right, let's get back out again. I think I'm just going to work from my winnings pile because we're still doing all right. $10 pass. 10, 10, 10, 10, 1 nickel. Let's break this down. And there we go. We have money in our rack still to play odds from that last shooter. So we're still playing on the plus side, which is what I like. There's a 4 for the new point. I'm going to drop this back here as odds. I'll actually go double odds with it. We've got our hard 4 covered and we're solid. I need my caps on the 6 and 8. All right, put the 1s over here. That goes to the bank. Let's play. 5-2-7, there it is. So what's happening here? You know what's happening here. The worm is turning and it's time to get out from this table, right? That's 3 in a row, or 3 out of 4 were horrible, right? Time to play this from the don't, right? And hedge the thing out. Let's try that real quick. I'm not gonna change the entire way that I play this thing, but I am gonna change my approach to the same strategy. I'm gonna get my 100, we're gonna go ahead and get some reds. Reds for that we're gonna need to come out. All right, we'll get one of these, we'll get whites for it. All right, cashed in 100. This time we're gonna go from the don't, and I'll probably take odds, whatever the point comes out to be. Again, 10, 10, 10, 5, 5, 10. We'll cap the 6 and the 8. And we'll come through with a don't pass bet this time. Put this in the bank. Of course, it goes to the 8, but that's okay, right? We're trending this way anyway. I'm gonna take this 12 bucks back to the rack. We're gonna lay 60 bucks on the 8. I will pick up the hard 8 for $10, just to take that one out of the mix. There's our point. Let's play this hand out and see what happens. Yes, right back on the easy 8. So I lose this and this, which is fan-freaking-tastic. All right, cool. That's a huge bummer. But we're still alive in the hand, right? That will come off. I'm gonna come right back out with the 8. I'm not gonna go to the line. I'm gonna let everything work this time. No line bet, I'm working. Last crack at it, we'll see what happens. There's a hard 10. Everything's working. So that 10 is gonna pay 18 bucks here. Hard 10 over here is gonna pay 35. I'm gonna press both of those. I'm gonna take this and get both of those to 15 bucks and bring 8 bucks back to the rack while the point is getting set. Again, no line bet here. I'm making a quick little adjustment as we go. Work stuff on the out. Now I'm gonna start transitioning. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go 8, we'll pay 15 for 1. I'm gonna put $10 into the don't. I'm gonna start working this side of it as we go. I just don't feel like I trust what's happening here. This is gonna be a 6-3-9. Again, as we get paid, what's that quarter from? I must have used that to make change earlier. There's a 3-1-4. Okay. We'll lose the easy 4 for 10 bucks. Over here, we're going to get paid 27. I'm going to make these both look like 20. I'm going to put that hard 4 back for 10 bucks. I'm going to take this $7 back to my rack, and I'm going to run $10 now to the don't one more time. Get a couple, maybe I might even get 3 don't points. We'll see. There's a hard 8. This comes in behind the 8. The 8's going to pay 15 for 1. I'm going to rack 10. I'm going to come to the don't with 1 more bet, and we'll leave 3 don'ts being set. And there's the 7. All right, so might have been better to leave just 2, but whatever. This pays that. Those 2 cancel out. I get an extra 10 bucks in here on the way back to my rack, and all this stuff goes back to where it belongs, which is the casino. There it is. A little adjustment there helped because we did get paid on the come out, and that hard 4 both worked out for us nicely. Didn't quite cover the whole spread. Actually, we did. We got 25. There's our 55. So we actually covered this, what we had out there initially, plus 5 bucks. That actually worked out okay. It didn't work out good, but it worked out okay. We'll take that as a thing. So there it is. We're down 100 bucks essentially. But that's it. There's the strategy working off and on as it should. You'll notice that we have the bumpy table like we always do, and that is gonna be okay. So here we go. All right.